G'day everyone and welcome to Conversations. Today I've had the pleasure of interviewing Bruce Buffer, the UFC announcer. It's time. It was a great conversation today with the man. Everyone must know that Bruce's brother, Michael, is the announcer for the World Boxing series, and Bruce himself has forged his own path to become the man that we all know as a UFC announcer. And he's forged a great profile for himself, and he's also doing good. He's also helping sports stars get connected with the world and build their own profile and become known in their own right. He's got a platform called Millions, and this is his way of connecting athletes around the world with brands and people that want to pay for athletes' services, to give them profile and to make sure that they've got a business afterwards. So here we are. Let's get into it. And here's the conversation with Bruce Buffer. Enjoy. Nice to see you, Bruce.
Nice to see you too, Stephen. How are you?
Yeah, very good. It's a beautiful day here on the Gold Coast in Australia.
Oh, you gotta love that. Love that. I see you're a surfer in the background. Are those your boards?
They're not my boards, but I'm involved with this company. So we're
cool.
We're a brand. So
I grew up as a surfer in Malibu from 15 years on.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, it's such a great place. Sean Thompson, who is the professional surfer.
Oh, I know Sean.
Oh, you know Sean.
I met him years ago. I mean, briefly. It wouldn't be like he remembers it, but I was always a fan of Sean Thompson.
Yeah. Oh, great guy. Good South African guy. Yeah. So we're relaunching his brand in Australia and very soon in the US. So,
oh, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Very cool. Excellent. So Bruce, as you know, I'm an international corporate advisor and investor. I invest in brands like Instinct Surf and other brands around the world. And as an entrepreneur, especially in today's world, having a personal brand is becoming pretty much one of the most important things that's out there. And you know, you're one of the all-time greats with a personal brand.
Thank you, sir.
What's your position on personal branding for pretty much anyone?
You know, it's very important because, you know, as you're building a career and if you're in the public eye, the public marketplace as such, you should always work from a base, figure out what your base is. In my case, if you take an example of me, for the last 28 years, it's been the UFC Octagon. Before that and after that, and still today, I've been managing my legendary brother, Michael Buffer, and the Let's Get Ready to Rumble brand, which together we built into a $500 million plus brand over the last 30 plus years. Of course, trademarking is important, everything else, but it's very important in the days of social media, in the days of television, in the days of whatever, to be visual and to be relevant so that people see you constantly. And you don't want to sway from your brand. You want to stick to it so that when you expand out of your brand and you start creating products or ventures or representation of products or ventures, that you have a formula that represents and always stays within your brand awareness, right? Obviously, mine has become not just my image, but the It's Time trademark, which is trademarked in Australia. As an example, being on TV, lucky to be on the UFC, to be one of the faces of the UFC, as people say about me. I'm very humble about it. So when I say that, understand this is what the public perception is that to market it where you can. So for instance, even though I say It's Time in the UFC, I own the trademark. They do not own the trademark. So I get to direct it and be able to market it in any way that I see fit. There's products that are coming out, if not already being released on Amazon in Australia, such as the It's Time toiletry line. In this case, this is the It's Time cologne. And this has been the top seller on Amazon in the UK, in the United States, even #1 in the United States for a while. Still a top seller, very dramatic, sensual fragrance that women love that's made for men, that has become very popular with a whole line of toiletries that'll be out after that. The It's Time energy drink is due to be released this year down under in Australia. And so I get behind products and I will only represent products that A, I use, that B, I consider the best, because I just don't want to be representing something for just the money. I just turned down a what could be a very lucrative cigar deal, but I don't smoke
Mhm.
cigars. So why would I want to represent cigars? So I want to make everything based around the brand itself. Here at my office, my partner Kristen and I, we market um, with, obviously it's time being said of them. We have a very, very growing, popular video and audio business. Well, people will write us through brucebuffer.com or go on the Swish app, which is available down in Australia, or Cameo, which is available worldwide too. And you can order introductions to be introduced like a champion with its time, the way I do in the main events of the UFC. And you can order them on video, you can order them on audio. And this is, again, is another expansion of my brand awareness as I follow a business plan that strictly is related and everything works in the same fashion to the brand itself. So you want to keep it like that. And again, you want to build from a base. So you think of your base and you think of how it expands out of there, and you can create different revenue streams. But it all depends on your business. I mean, you can be a realtor in Australia. So how do you create a brand for yourself? Well, obviously your name is a brand. Maybe you have a certain saying that's popular for your brand. And whether it's on your business card, whether it's on a park bench or a bus or wherever you advertise yourself, you want to stay uniform to the brand. If you have a website, if you have an email, if you have an Instagram, it should always be the same thing, whether it's your name or whether it's the brand you're building. Don't confuse people. Keep it totally uniform so every time they see it, they know it's you.
Yeah. So on that, you're saying pretty much keep it simple. Keep it on
Always keep
topic.
it simple. Always keep it
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah. And with catchphrases and branding and that sort of stuff, what do you reckon is the best way? Is it short, simple, like it's time? One of the most classic catchphrases. Very short, very simple.
Thank you.
Yeah. Would you say that that's the way to get people's attention in today?
Yeah, you want to hit them with a sizzle. You want to hit them with a punch, right?
Mhm.
It's like in a fight. You don't want to like screw around. You want to punch them right between the eyes, right in the nose, get it over as quickly as possible. And think about the fact that in today's society, as it's been for years, that it's kind of an ADD society. If you have basically 15, 20 seconds to attract their attention, if you get long-winded and you're writing long verses and this, that, and the other, you're going to lose them. You want to hit them fast. You want to hit them hard, and you want to make it so that it's memorable. So I think the
Yeah.
shorter, the sweeter, the better.
Yeah. And on that video, audio, what are you seeing as the best way to get that 15-second breakthrough?
Even if you're like doing an audio or a video.
Yeah, if you're putting it out on social media or you're trying to get into, say, the local news cycle, is it an audio grab? Is it audio visual? What do you feel, or what are you seeing that is what's working best?
It depends where you're placing it. If it's something that's going to be on the radio, it's audio,
Mhm.
right? So, representing, uh, it's time for Stephen Pettit. If I said your name correctly, Pettit,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, you did.
Stephen Pettit, the man that can be your investor and advisor. It's time to grow with Stephen.
Yeah.
Simple.
Very catchy.
Right? Yeah, catchy. Just want to keep it catchy. Of course, that's off the top of my head. It can be different, right? But it's a matter of what message you want to get across, right? You want to make money, go to StephenPettit.com, right?
Yeah.
Make money with Stephen at Stephen.com, whatever it is, Stephen, whatever your situation is, flashing it right there.
Yeah. Excellent.
Again, shorter, sweeter, better.
Shorter, sweeter, better. Yeah, excellent. Now with visuals, I know in your background that you got Dr. No. You must be a James Bond fan.
I collect vintage movie posters, and I have all the Sean Connery posters from all his films.
Oh, fantastic! You're a Connery man, just like myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get the and I know you love jackets. You've got a jacket collection that must be to die for.
Did you get that from the Bond movies, with the style of Connery, or where did that come about? Because that's an iconic part of your image.
Well, the one thing you want to do as an announcer, and my brother was, legendary in bringing the classic James Bond type image to the world of announcing is you always want to look classy. You want to act classy, right? And I do, listen, I'm an old time surfer. I'm a casual guy in California. During the day, I dress very relaxed. But at nighttime, I call being a man for all seasons, a man for all reasons. And, as they say, clothes make the man. And I was very lucky to side myself with a very amazing tailor in Toronto, Canada called King and Bay. And together for probably going on 8 years, give or take, they have provided me and we designed together, or they surprise me with these amazing jackets that are made for each event, which I take a lot of pride in. And they're one of a kind. Maybe sometimes they make two because they can find enough material in the raw jacquard silk that they use. And they've actually auctioned off the second jacket for charity. And they've gone for quite a lot of dollars, shall we say. I even had people offer to buy mine after a show. I had an offer after the show 2 shows ago, just a casual offer for $6,000 US. And I turned it down. I turned it down. I want to keep them. And again, I'm a man of collectibles. I know that A, I like to wear the jackets later on. B, I know that as time goes on, they'll be collectible, just like the fight cards that I hold in my hand. I've sold about 15 shows worth of fight cards, whether for charity or otherwise, on eBay or through sites. And they go for anywhere from 99 to 150 average, and have sold as for as high as $4,000 for one card because they're one of a kind collectibles. And that's another area of investment that I'm involved in. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. And it's a great play. The collectibles market is huge. And with technology now merging digital and traditional, I think we're going to see a lot more in this space.
Collectible market has always been a huge market, even times of depression or times when the economy's down. Collectible numismatic coins and stamps and sports collectibles, memorabilia, which I like to collect, like unopened wax packs of American baseball, football cards from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, to antique guns and artifacts. The Wall Street Journal quoted those 3 items as one of the best areas to collect, and they hold their value. If you just follow them on eBay and see how they sell, but it's about knowing what you're doing and buying correctly. And everything you buy is going to make money.
100%. Yeah. And in the world of investment, that's definitely a thing. You've got to sort of sweep through all the other crap that's out there and get right to what you think is going to make it. Now, just before we end, I know your time's valuable, Nat. You've set up the Millions Co. I was looking at this the other day, and now, where did it come about? I think it's a great idea. Most athletes don't have a brand, and they are some of the most iconic people. So how did it come about, and where do you see it going?
I was approached by a group of Canadian businessmen that are very, very astute at what they do. And they're the ones who originally had the brand and approached me for athletes such as UFC fighters and others to be able to have their own merchandise lines, and also to help brand themselves with videos that they have available on the site, or watch parties. Like you hear Joe Rogan having his watch parties. They can have watch parties where you watch UFC with them. You pay a few coin, very small, and you can be with your favorite fighter at the time, like Henry Cejudo, the famous UFC fighter. Watch a show, ask him questions, enjoy the show with him, like they do with Joe Rogan on his podcast. Merchandise where they work with millions.co, not .co, and the Shevchenko sisters, even the old footballer Joe Montana, the famous footballer from America, rugby players. Every major sport is represented on millions.co, and you can go and you can see your favorite athlete wear their merchandise, right? But the other thing is the athlete themselves, rather than just getting paid on fight night, that one paycheck, what attracted me was the ability, again, to help them brand themselves further. And when they do sell a t-shirt, instead of collecting like 10% of a $50 sale, as they would with all respect to their deal with the UFC, they get a major portion of the income when the item is sold. and they don't have to pay to create their own merchandise. They don't have to stock their own merchandise. They don't have to ship their own merchandise. Everything is done through millions.co. So I highly recommend, if you have your listeners or people that will see this interview, go to millions.co, see all the different athletes that are available, whether it's your UFC fighters, soccer players, footballers, see who's available on the site. And also, too, in Australia, if any professional athletes are listening to this, they can join millions.co tomorrow morning and have this all done for them. Have it done right away.
We'll put it out. When I saw it, I thought, oh, this is so good for our up and young and coming professional surfers that we're sponsoring. We could, make sure that they're on Millions, and because a lot of professional athletes and working, especially in the surf industry, there are so many of them that are broke. They just don't have that that continual stream of income, and I think a platform like this is fantastic for them.
Right. Well, I'm not saying it's going to make you rich. In some cases, you can make a lot of money, but it's an avenue, again, as you build your brand. If you have a social media following, then why not offer them what you can offer them? Right.
Yeah.
And it's another way for you to talk and again, build your brand, expand your brand. So
do you work directly with the athletes, or does your team work and set the, their
my
brand
team, my team works with them. If I meet an athlete, they want to be on millions.co, then I will refer them to the site, where to sign up, or maybe have it's depending on the level of the athlete, have a specific meeting with one of my associates.
Okay.
But right now I think there's actively 3,000 to 5,000 athletes on the site.
Oh, great. So there's actually, so you're getting towards critical mass.
Oh yeah. That's the key point. The company's building very strongly.
Very good. So what else have you got coming up?
Stephen, we got to end it.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks very
Stephen,
much.
I would say you're going to see other events with me coming up. There's always going to be the UFC. You can follow me on Instagram at Bruce Buffer UFC, and you'll see everything that's happening as it happens. But watch out for the It's Time Cologne toiletry line and energy drink coming into Australia. I think it's going to be a huge seller, and it's a very top quality product.
Excellent. Thank you very much for your time, Bruce. Very enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. Take care, Stephen. I appreciate your time too. Good luck to you, sir. Big cheers down under.